This is Jonathan Agger here for Pro Boxing Fans. We're here in London today ahead of big Saturday night card, Anthony Yarde Spellman. Also on the bill, Denzel Bentley against Mark Heffron, a great domestic clash. With me, trainer Ray Bull and manager Martin Bowers. Gents, how are we doing?
We're okay, yeah. We're all good, thank you.
Denzel Bentley returns his first pro title on Saturday night, the IBF European middleweight title. I'll start with you, Ray. It's only been sort of a few weeks since the last fight. What did you take from that from a trainer's perspective?
Well, we was rushed back onto that one really, so we didn't put a good performance up like we thought he would put a good performance, but we got a good win still. He was a good boy, he come to fight, and Denzel got the job done. This time we've had a little bit more time to prepare, and he's prepared really well for this fight. Probably one of his best camps we've had, you know, really. So there'd be no excuses on the night. Be the best man win on the night.
I know Denzel sort of wasn't particularly pleased with his performance, but there were some positive, I guess, to take in. He did get the stoppage, and what I noticed, he was sort of switching his style between orthodox and southpaw. Were you kind of impressed with that sort of switch hitting?
I know he can. I know he can do that. So it does. That doesn't surprise me. You know, when he switched from southpaw to orthodox. You know, he can fight, he can box. You know, I still say, and I've said it before, people ain't seen the best of him yet. You know, you know, get him another couple of more fights, and this type of fight, you will see the best of him come out. He's got to be on his A game to beat this kid. This kid's a good kid. He's no mug.
Obviously, Mark's a bit more experienced than Denzel, yeah, but is this a good leveler to see where Denzel's at?
Yeah, it is. You know, and the thing is, and you can't beat experience. You know, he's got about twice as much experience as Denzel, and he's got a great knockout record, and you can't knock that. And you know, Liam Williams beat him. Liam Williams is a world-class fighter now. You know, he should be fighting for a world title. You know, and I'm going to say this to you, Liam: give the British title up. Give these youngsters a chance. You know, and because you know he is a world-class fighter, and that shows to beat Mark Heffron, you've got to be a world-class fighter. I'm not saying Denzel will be a world-class fighter if he beats him, but you know, Liam's a class fighter. You know, so you got to respect that on Mark's record. You know, so other than that, you know, you got to, you know, like I said, you take what he's done in his career, you know, and his knockout record, you know, is excellent. You know, his ratio of knockouts is unbelievable. And there's not many middleweights in the country who would do what Denzel's doing. Get in with him. You know, he's probably a little bit avoided. You know, he's had some good victories on his record. And I just want to say on that part. Yeah.
Martin, as from the manager's perspective, why Mark Heffron now? I've spoken to Denzel before, and he's always wanted that fight.
Why Mark Heffron? Because we can't find anybody else, basically. I mean, we wanted to fight for the southern area. As I said before, fortunately, Sean, who's in our camp, won that. The English title we couldn't get. The British title ain't out. These boys need fights, and they need good fights to bring them on. And I believe that's what we've got, a really good fight, which would bring the best out of Denzel, and hopefully we'll come through.
Is this sort of the perfect, as I said to Ray, the perfect sort of marker to see exactly where Denzel's at in his career?
Well, I think both of them need each other because, as Ray just said, you know, they're probably both a little bit avoided, and it's like the who wants them club, and they're both fighting each other.
What performance do you want to see from Denzel on Saturday night? You said to me last time for Daniel, just the win. Is that the same?
I'll probably say the same thing, but look, I just hope they put on a good performance, the pair of them, and they both come out healthy. You know, that's what we want to see.
And I guess it's quite significant in the fact that it is the IBF European middleweight title, so you can get good rankings within the IBF.
Listen, the title is fantastic, but the fight is the icing on the cake.
Just two more, Martin. Daniel got a good win last time out against Ricardo Schneider's. Bit limited, but got the win in the end. What was your take on it?
Well, probably the same as everyone else. I thought Dan's shot selection was very good. I thought he showed something else to his game. It wasn't all just off the jab. Fair enough, he walked the boy down a little bit, but it was a good performance. Listen, can't say nothing about it. We move on.
And everyone's going to be asking, when is that Joe Joyce fight happening? But I guess no one really knows at the moment with everything that's going on.
We're asking the same. You know, hopefully everything falls into place and this fight happens this year.
Is Filip Hrgovic a possible option at some point in the next couple of fights?
I would think Hrgovic is probably a little bit further down the line. I don't think they'd want to put their, you know, that's a real class fight. Listen, know Filip, know about him, know his record and everything, and him and Dan are like, they're going to be on a collision course, but this is a little bit early probably for either of them. Why would either of them take that fight now? It wouldn't make sense.
And one more. Daniel is now ranked number 2 by the WBO. I know Frank Warren put out a proposal, possible vacant shot with him and Oleksandr Usyk. What do you make of that? Because it would be sort of 1 versus 2.
Well, what do I make of it? I think promoters promote. That's it. Promoters promote, and that's what Frank does, and that's what Frank does best. But you know, we're trying to manage and train and bring Dan along at a certain pace. But you have to be talking about great fights in the future, and there is loads of great fights like you just mentioned for Dan in the future. But let's learn the game and you know, do it properly.
Yeah. The other thing is we've got a big fight at the moment with Joe Joyce, so that is a big fight. And if people keep talking about other fighters, Usyk and this other guy, then you're undermining Joe, and we're not undermining Joe. No way, we wouldn't undermine him. So you know, you can't. You know, our job is Joe Joyce, and that's all we're focused on. No one else. What anybody else says,
it's just speculation. Like Ray just said, we've got one fight in mind, which is Joe Joyce, and we're not jumping any other hurdles, and rightly so, because Joe's very capable.
Yeah. You know, Joe's a silver medalist, and everything he's been asked to do in the pro game, he's done it. So you've got to respect the way he's been brought on and way he's progressed through the ranks. So you know you've got to respect that. You know, and we don't look no further than Joe Joyce. So when anybody mentions any other fighter, we're not worried about that. We're just worried about Joe Joyce. He's our main priority. Unless we have to have another fight in between, then we worry about that guy.
Do you see as any kind of possibility with this situation? A possible interim fight before Joe now?
I think that would depend when the dates come out, and again, that's an hurdle we'll jump when the goalposts move.
Just literally the last one. I just wanted a quick update on Chris Bourke and Louis Lin. Chris becomes Southern Area champion, looking at English titles possibly.
Well, they're all good. They sparred yesterday in the gym, and they're both looking well. They're both looking forward to getting out, hopefully within the next couple of shows. So fingers crossed.
All right, brilliant. Well, Ray Martin, thanks very much for your time. Best of luck on Saturday.